Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome one and all. I am not a struggling stand-up comic. I'm a comic struggling to stand up right now. See, I'm a little nervous. I was on TV once before when I was younger. My parents came into the living room and saw me and said, "Get off that television! You're gonna break it!" So I hope I don't break anything tonight. My mother, my family itself, dysfunctional. Everywhere we moved to, we were known as those people. Hey, look out, there goes those people. Hey, look, here comes those people. Individually, we were all given nicknames. My dad was the high roller. I was Little Willie. My mother was that woman. And my brother was Lump. Go figure, go figure. I had an unsettling childhood, very unsettling childhood indeed. By the time I reached the ripe old age of 15, my family moved 5 times. And one time it took me 3 months to find them. That's okay. A couple of times you left me in foster's care. A couple of times in Labatt's care. Once your time in Molson's care. You think with all the care I received growing up, I would become a brewer, not a teacher. But go figure, go figure. My brother and I were homeschooled by my parents in the early years. And quite frankly, my brother and I couldn't figure out exactly how seriously they took teaching or parenting, for that matter. It's true, they did teach us the 3 R's, but it wasn't reading, writing, and arithmetic. It was rebel, resist, and revenge. I wasn't a great homeschooler, but my brother made the dishonor roll every year until he got arrested and went away. Until he dropped out and moved away. Yeah, that's the family story. That's the family story. My dad wasn't the best role model 2 boys could have growing up. Didn't always give sound advice. I remember one time my brother and I were picking him up at Gamblers Anonymous, and we were pulling into the driveway, and my dad was in the back seat, and he said, "Boys, let me give you some advice. Never get into a car with a stranger unless he offers you candy." I said, Dad, give me a break, give me a break. Well, thanks to social services, my homeschooling days came to a close in about 1972, 1973. I went to public school, grade 9. Like I said, I wasn't the best student, wasn't the worst student. Some teachers may have called me a scoundrel, maybe a rascal from time to time. But early in my grade 9 year, I got summoned to the principal's office for what was believed to be a minor incident. A minor incident. Looking back on it, I think I may have pushed a minor downstairs. I may have stolen a minor's lunch money, maybe his bicycle, maybe all 3. Anyways, I was in the principal's office, and he was going up one side of me and down the other. He said, "Harrison, you no good, lousy son of a, what in the hell do you want to do with your life?" I said, "Well, Mr. Principal, I want to be a teacher just like you." He laughed. He thought that was hilarious. He said, "A teacher, you don't have the self-discipline, you don't have the intelligence, and you don't have the family background to be a teacher. In fact, if I have my way, you're not even going to graduate from high school." He's dead now. I know what you're thinking, rebel, resist, revenge, but it wasn't me, folks. It wasn't me. Anyways, I did graduate from high school, and I can prove it. You can Google my school and see my mugshot in the Wall of Shame. You can see my graduation picture in the Hall of Fame, yeah. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyways, graduated from high school, went on to university, had a pretty good academic career, left all that stuff behind me. And of all the university professors I had, there's one in particular that stands out among the most. It's not because of what we learned in class, it's how she liked to start her classes. She liked to see us sweat. She played stump the students, fun times. One time she comes to the class, puts her books down, says, "Class, what is it called if you take your own life?" "Suicide, yeah. Then she says, "What is it called if you take somebody else's life?" "Yeah, homicide. We figured there was a thing going on here." Then she says, "Class, tell me the truth. What would it be called if you took your professor's life?" Before she could say anything, I raised my hand and said, "Well, at this point, justified." Well, that was a pretty good time in my life because I did graduate. Got my education degree, my teaching certificate, and I was offered a job with the school board. But before the school board hired me, they wanted me to take a background security test. I said, "Well, okay, but why?" He says, well, it's common. You're going to be working with minors. I said, oh my God, here's my career. What's the statute of limitations on pushing minors downstairs or stealing their bikes, right? So anyways, I took the test. Results came back a couple of days later. I said, Mr. Harrison, we're going to have to do some further investigation on you. I said, oh God, why? He said, well, there's a member of a motorcycle gang that has your name, your age, and your birth date. I said, oh my God, I've got a doppelganger. He said, no, Mr. Harrison, he doesn't look like you. What you got is a doppelgang banger. I said, oh, cool. Vroom, vroom. Vroom, vroom. Well, that was a pretty good year for me. Not only did I graduate, get a teaching job, but I also got married. And my wife is sitting here, my lovely bride of 37 years. 37 years. Now, I know what you're thinking, folks, but you don't have to feel sorry for her. You can if you want, but you don't have to. If you want to feel sorry for anybody, feel sorry for a teacher friend of mine. Many years ago, we were starting a new semester with a group of new students. And he looked at the back row, and he saw a student looking at him with a very curious look at his face. So the teacher said, can I help you? What's the matter? And the student said, you know what? You remind me of somebody, but I just can't put my finger on it. It's driving me nuts. Well, the teacher said, well, as soon as you figure it out, let me know. Kid said, okay. A little while later, the hand goes up. The teacher said, so what? He says, I remember who you remind me of. And the teacher said, oh, who? And he said, the character from Seinfeld. And the teacher put his chest out and said, oh, who, Jerry? He said, no, that short, fat, bald guy. Now we have Costanza of the public school system. Back to my wife. You know, I love her to death. Always have. But she's a shopper. Always has been. In fact, I knew that on our wedding day. Back in those days, ladies, it was traditional for a woman to say, I promise to love, honor, and obey in their wedding vows. Can you believe that? I promise to love, honor, and obey. But because my wife was a shopper and the fact that she was ahead of her time, instead of saying, I promise to love, honor, and obey, she said, I promise to love and honor eBay. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. What's that all about? You know, my wife has a pretty good sense of humor, too. Doesn't always hit you between the eyes, but it's there, and sometimes she brings it out. One time, a little while ago, I was coming back home a little bit later than usual, and I was trying to sneak into the house, but you have to go through the living room to get to the bedroom. So while I was walking through, my wife said, Bill. So I walked into the living room, and I noticed what she was doing. She was watching TV. That's not what got me going. The fact that she was watching Forensic Files and taking notes, that's what got me going. Should I be worried? Should I be worried? Anyways, I took that with a grain of salt and kind of backed out of the living room a little bit, heading to my bathroom, and she says, Bill? I said, yes. She said, do you spell arsenic with a C or a K? I said, I think you spell it with a C. And she said, I think you're right. Sweet dreams, Bill. Anyways, arsenic's not working so well because I am proud to say I just turned 67 years of age. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And I received this card in the mail, and it brought a tear to my eye. In fact, it brought a few tears to my eyes. I just thought I'd bring it in and share with you, see what you think about this birthday card. It says, to whom it may concern, happy 67th birthday. Eat and drink like there's no tomorrow. Dance until you're dead on your feet. You only live once. We hope to see you soon. Very, very soon. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? I thought so too until I realized it's from a local funeral home. Can they do that? Can they recruit on your birthday? What's up with that? And I got to tell you, folks, I saw the card cover. It's got 13 candles. And one candle is snuffed out. Is that snuffed out candle supposed to be me? If it is, I'm going to go call the Better Business Bureau. In fact, I think I'm going to do that right now while you folks enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for coming out, folks. Thanks for coming out.